The desperate call. The last hope of Zephyr Prime. The crystalline spires of Zephyr Prime gleamed like diamonds against the purple sky, their surfaces reflecting the gentle light of twin suns that had watched over the Zephyrian people for millennia. High above the planet's atmosphere, Commander Lisa Vortin stood in the central command hub of Orbital Station Harmony, her elongated fingers trembling as she watched the tactical display. Red warning lights bathed the chamber in an ominous glow, and the steady beeping of proximity alarms created a rhythm of impending doom. The Zephyrians had always been a peaceful species. Their slender 7-foot frames and large, luminous eyes reflected their gentle nature. For over 2,000 years, they had dedicated themselves to art, philosophy, and scientific discovery. Their technology was advanced, but it had been developed for exploration and creation, not destruction. Their small defense fleet consisted of 30 vessels, designed primarily for asteroid mining and deep space research. "Commander, the Vex ships have broken through the outer perimeter," reported Lieutenant Kess Meridian, his voice barely concealing his terror. "Estimated time until they reach the planet is 14 hours. Lisa closed her eyes, feeling the weight of 8 billion lives pressing down on her shoulders. The Vex Dominion had swept through this sector of the galaxy like a plague, consuming entire civilizations and enslaving their populations. Their massive warships were instruments of pure destruction, designed by a species that knew only conquest and brutality. Intelligence reports described them as towering, armored beings with 4 arms and cruel, angular faces that showed no mercy to anyone who stood in their path. "How many ships?" Lisa asked, though she dreaded the answer. 300 confirmed vessels, Commander. Heavy battle cruisers, assault carriers, and—" Kess paused, swallowing hard. 15 planet crackers. The command center fell silent except for the constant alarm signals. Planet crackers were the Vex Dominion's ultimate weapon, massive ships capable of splitting worlds in half with concentrated energy beams. Lisa had seen the recordings from other conquered systems. Beautiful planets reduced to asteroid fields in a matter of hours. The ancient beacon awakens. Dr. Zen Calibran, the station's chief scientist, suddenly straightened at his workstation. His pale blue skin had turned almost white with fear, but his eyes showed a spark of desperate hope. "Commander, there might be one option we haven't considered." "What is it?" Lisa demanded, grasping at any possibility of salvation. "The emergency beacon protocol," Zen replied, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. "It's an ancient system built by our ancestors 3,000 years ago, designed as a last resort for calling aid from any intelligent species within broadcast range." Lieutenant Kess looked confused. "But we've been members of the Galactic Council for centuries. Why not use standard diplomatic channels?" "Because the Council moves too slowly," Lisa replied grimly. "By the time they debate and vote, Zephyr Prime will be nothing but cosmic dust. How far can this beacon reach, Dr. Calibran?" "Theoretically, the entire local galactic cluster. But, Commander, the translation protocols are incredibly outdated. Any species that receives our message might not even understand it, and some of the sectors we'd be broadcasting to." He hesitated. "What about them?" "They're marked as death worlds in our astronomical databases. Planets with toxic atmospheres, extreme gravity, radiation levels that would kill most known life forms. Nothing could possibly survive in such places." General Marcus Thornfield, the station's military advisor, stepped forward. His scarred face showed the strain of their impossible situation. "Doctor, right now I'd accept help from space ghosts if they were willing to fight the Vex. Send the message to every system you can reach." Earth's quiet night. Meanwhile, light years away on a small blue planet orbiting an unremarkable yellow star, Dr. Elena Rodriguez was finishing her night shift at the Atacama Deep Space Array in Chile. The massive radio telescope dishes pointed toward the star-filled sky, constantly listening for signals from the cosmos. It was 2:30 a.m. local time, and Elena was looking forward to her coffee break, when every computer in the facility suddenly began displaying urgent alerts. "What the hell?" she muttered, rushing to her primary console. The screen showed an incoming transmission from deep space, but this wasn't random cosmic noise. The signal displayed clear mathematical patterns that could only come from an intelligent source. Alina's heart raced as she realized what she was looking at. After decades of searching, they had finally detected what appeared to be genuine alien communication. The signal was coming from a star system over 40 light-years away, and it was being broadcast on multiple frequencies simultaneously. Within minutes, similar detections were being reported by radio telescopes across Earth. The message was reaching every major astronomical facility on the planet, from Arecibo to the Very Large Array. At the United Nations Space Command Headquarters in Geneva, Admiral Patricia Stone was awakened by an emergency call that would change the course of human history. "How long until we can decode it?" Admiral Stone asked as she strode into the communication center, still adjusting her uniform. "We're running the signal through every translation algorithm we have," replied Dr. James Chen, the facility's head linguist. "The mathematical portions are clear, basic physics and chemistry that any advanced civilization would understand. But the linguistic components are proving challenging." The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Rebecca Kumar, a graduate student at Cambridge University who specialized in ancient Earth languages, noticed something peculiar about the signal structure. "It's not that the translation is impossible," she explained during an emergency video conference with world leaders. "It's that whoever sent this is using incredibly primitive translation software, like they're trying to communicate using technology that's thousands of years old." Humanity's hidden strength. As the message was finally decoded, its content sent shockwaves through every government on Earth. The calm, artificial voice that emerged from the speakers carried a desperation that transcended species barriers. "To any civilization capable of receiving this transmission, we are the people of Zephyr Prime. We are a peaceful species of 8 billion souls facing complete extinction. The Vex Dominion has invaded our system with 300 warships. They have already destroyed 6 of our colony worlds, killing billions of our people. We have no military capable of stopping them. Our children cry in fear as death approaches from the stars. If there is anyone out there who values life and freedom, please help us. We do not wish to die forgotten in the darkness." The message included detailed coordinates, tactical information about the Vex fleet, and a complete analysis of their weapons capabilities. What struck human analysts most powerfully was not just the plea for help, but the incredible bravery it had taken to send such a detailed military assessment to complete strangers. In secure facilities around the globe, world leaders held emergency sessions. The debate was brief but intense. Some argued that humanity had no business interfering in alien conflicts. Others pointed out that they had no idea what they would be facing, or whether their technology would even be effective against alien weapons. But the majority opinion was clear and uncompromising. President Sarah Mitchell of the United States spoke for many when she declared, "These people are facing genocide. If we have the power to help them and choose to do nothing, what does that say about us as a species?" The vote was unanimous. Every major nation on Earth committed their space forces to the rescue mission. What the Zephyrians didn't know was that their message had reached the one species in the galaxy that had spent centuries preparing for exactly this scenario. The fleet that shouldn't exist. Humanity had been secretly building their deep space fleet for over 50 years. What had started as a modest asteroid mining operation had gradually evolved into something far more ambitious, using advanced fusion drives, quantum navigation systems, and weapons technology that pushed the boundaries of physics. Earth's hidden fleet was larger and more powerful than any alien civilization suspected. Admiral Stone stood in the command center of the UES Retribution, humanity's flagship and the largest warship ever constructed. At 2 kilometers long and bristling with weapons that had never been tested in actual combat, the Retribution was an instrument of war that would have impressed even the most aggressive alien species. Final fleet count, Commander Hayes, she ordered. 1,200 vessels ready for deployment. Admiral. 12 super dreadnoughts, 40 battle cruisers, 150 destroyers, 300 frigates, and 700 support craft. We also have 50,000 Marines ready for ground operations if necessary. Admiral Stone nodded grimly. The Zephyrians were expecting help from a dead world marked as uninhabitable in their star charts. They were about to discover that Earth was not only very much alive, but had spent generations preparing for war among the stars. Jump to destiny. As the massive human fleet prepared to jump to hyperspace, Admiral Stone broadcast a message to every ship in the Armada. Her words would be remembered for generations. Today, we make first contact with an alien civilization, but we're not going as explorers or diplomats. We're going as protectors. 8 billion innocent lives hang in the balance, and they've called out to us for help. The enemy they face has conquered dozens of worlds and enslaved countless billions. They think strength comes from cruelty and conquest. Today, we show them what real strength looks like. Today, we show them that Earth protects its friends. The fleet jumped to hyperspace in perfect formation. Reality twisted and folded as 1,200 human warships tore through the fabric of space-time itself, racing toward a distant system where peaceful beings faced extinction. The Zephyrians had sent their desperate message to what they thought was a lifeless world. They were about to learn that the most dangerous predators in the galaxy sometimes came from the most unlikely places. When Deathworlders answer. Arrival in hell. The human fleet materialized at the edge of the Zephyr system like an apparition of salvation. One moment, empty space stretched between the stars. The next, 1,200 warships hung in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming with the light of distant suns. Admiral Stone stood on the bridge of the Retribution, studying the tactical display that showed the true scope of the crisis they had come to address. The Vex Dominion fleet was even larger than the Zephyrian transmission had indicated. 350 massive warships surrounded the beautiful blue-green world of Zephyr Prime like a noose of steel and death. The alien vessels were elegant in their deadliness, their dark hulls covered in weapon emplacements that could reduce cities to rubble in seconds. Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the planetary surface, reported Communications Officer Lisa Park. It's from their Defense Command Station. Put it through. The view screen flickered to life, revealing the pale, graceful features of Commander Lisa Vortain. Her large eyes were wide with disbelief as she stared at the impossible sight of the human fleet. When she spoke, her voice carried a mixture of hope and confusion that touched every heart on the bridge. Unknown vessels, this is Commander Vortain of Zephyr Prime Defense Command. We cannot believe what we are seeing. Who are you? How is this possible? Our astronomical charts indicated that your point of origin was a dead world. Admiral Stone stepped forward, her expression calm but determined. Commander Vortain, I am Admiral Patricia Stone of the Earth Defense Force. We received your distress call and have come to render assistance. As for your charts being wrong, she smiled grimly. Earth is very much alive, and we don't take kindly to bullies. The Vex respond. Before Commander Vortain could respond, another transmission cut through the communications channel. The voice that emerged was harsh and metallic, filtered through alien vocal apparatus that turned words into weapons of intimidation. Unknown fleet, this is War Commander Thex of the Vex Dominion. You are interfering with a lawful annexation of enemy territory. These worlds belong to the Dominion by right of conquest. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences of your interference. Admiral Stone's expression hardened. She had reviewed every piece of intelligence the Zephyrians had provided about the Vex, and what she had learned disgusted her. This was a species that conquered for the pure joy of causing suffering. They enslaved entire populations, destroyed art and culture for sport, and turned beautiful worlds into factories for their war machine. War Commander Thex, this is Admiral Stone. I have a counter-proposal for you. You have exactly 10 minutes to begin withdrawing your forces from this system. After that, We will consider you hostile and act accordingly." The alien's laughter was like metal scraping against stone. "You dare threaten the Dominion with your pathetic fleet? We have conquered 47 systems. We have enslaved billions. What makes you think your insignificant ships can stand against the might of the Vex?" "I guess you're about to find out," Admiral Stone replied calmly. 10 minutes, Commander. I suggest you use them wisely. The battle begins." 9 minutes and 30 seconds later, Admiral Stone gave the order that would echo through galactic history. "All ships, weapons free. Show them what Earth is capable of." The human fleet responded with devastating precision. 1,200 warships turned their guns toward the Vex formation, and space itself seemed to ignite with weapons fire. The humans had brought technology that the galaxy had never seen before. Particle beam weapons that could slice through ship hulls like paper. Kinetic projectiles fired at nearly the speed of light. Nuclear missiles with warheads powerful enough to crack moons. But it was the tactical coordination that truly shocked observers. Where alien fleets typically fought as individual ships seeking personal glory, the human fleet moved like a single organism. Destroyer squadrons flanked enemy formations, while battlecruisers provided covering fire. Fighter wings swarmed around Vex ships like angry hornets, their pilots displaying a level of aggression and skill that defied belief. War Commander Thex watched in growing horror as his supposedly invincible fleet began to die. The lead Vex destroyer, the Bone Crusher, simply vanished in a ball of nuclear fire when it was struck by 3 human missiles simultaneously. The massive battleship Dark Sovereign was cut in half by a particle beam that generated more energy than a small star. How is this possible? Thex demanded of his tactical officer. "What kind of weapons are these primitives using?" "Sir, their projectile velocities are beyond our defensive capabilities. Their energy weapons are operating on principles I don't recognize. And their nuclear devices." The officer paused, checking his readings again. "Sir, their nuclear devices are more powerful than our main battle cannon." Humanity unleashed. Captain Mike Rodriguez piloted his fighter, the Starburst, through the chaos of battle with the skill of someone who had been born for this moment. His squadron, the Hellhawks, dove toward a Vex carrier that was launching its own fighters. The alien craft were larger and more heavily armored than human fighters, but they were also slower and less maneuverable. "Hellhawks, this is Rodriguez. Let's show these bugs how Earth pilots fight. Break and attack." The squadron scattered in perfect coordination, each pilot using tactics that had been refined through decades of simulation and training. Rodriguez locked onto a Vex fighter and fired a burst from his plasma cannons. The alien craft exploded in a shower of debris that scattered across the darkness of space. On the surface of Zephyr Prime, the Zephyrian population watched the battle through their defense networks in complete amazement. Dr. Zen Calibran stood beside Commander Vortin in the command center, tears streaming down his face as he watched their impossible saviors systematically destroy the Vex fleet. "They came," he whispered. "We sent our message to a dead world, and they came to save us." "Who are they?" Commander Vortin asked, watching as another Vex battleship was torn apart by human weapons. "What kind of species builds ships like that? What kind of people travel 40 light-years to fight for strangers?" The tide turns. War Commander Thex realized with growing panic that his fleet was not just losing, it was being massacred. In 30 minutes of combat, he had lost over 100 ships, while the human fleet had suffered only minor damage. These aliens, these humans, fought with a combination of technological superiority and tactical brilliance that he had never encountered. "All ships, fall back to the outer system," he ordered. "Reform the battle line and prepare for a concentrated assault." But the humans didn't give him the chance. Admiral Stone had studied the Vex formation and identified their command structure. She ordered a focused assault on Thex's flagship, the massive dreadnought Voidrender. 50 human ships concentrated their fire on the alien command vessel, overwhelming its shields and tearing through its armor like it was made of paper. War Commander Thex felt his ship shuddering around him as human weapons found their mark. Emergency alarms screamed throughout the vessel, and damage reports flooded in from every section. He had never experienced defeat before, and the sensation filled him with a rage that bordered on madness. "Sir, we're losing structural integrity," his engineering officer reported. "The humans have targeted our reactor cores. If we don't evacuate now..." "Never," Vex roared. "The Dominion does not retreat. All ships ramming speed. If we die, we take them with us." Final victory. Admiral Stone watched as the surviving Vex ships turned toward her fleet in what was obviously a desperate suicide run. She felt no satisfaction in the enemy's defeat, only grim determination to protect the innocent civilians on the planet below. "All ships, defensive formation," she ordered. "Point defense systems online. Don't let a single one of them through." The final phase of the battle lasted only minutes. The remaining Vex ships, damaged and desperate, threw themselves at the human fleet in a last attempt to inflict casualties. But human point defense systems were designed to stop much faster and more numerous threats. Particle cannons and laser batteries created a wall of destructive energy that no ship could penetrate. One by one, the Vex vessels were destroyed until only debris remained. War Commander Thex died as his flagship exploded around him. His final thoughts consumed by disbelief that his invincible dominion could be defeated by unknown aliens from a world marked as uninhabitable. After the storm, as the last echoes of battle faded, space around Zephyr Prime was filled with the wreckage of what had once been the most feared fleet in this sector of the galaxy. Admiral Stone stood on her bridge, looking out at the beautiful world they had saved. Cities of crystal and light dotted the planet's surface, and for the first time in days, those cities were safe. "Admiral, we're receiving another transmission from the planetary surface," reported Officer Park. Commander Vortin appeared on the viewscreen again, but this time her expression was one of overwhelming gratitude mixed with awe. "Admiral Stone, we don't have words to express our thanks. You saved 8 billion lives today. But I have to ask, what kind of world produces warriors like you? What made your people so willing to fight for strangers?" Admiral Stone considered the question carefully. "Commander, our world has not been kind to us. We've faced countless wars, natural disasters, and challenges that would have destroyed weaker species. But those challenges taught us something important, that the strongest among us are those who protect others. Today, you learned that Earth is not a dead world. It's a world that fights back." Dr. Zen Caliburn stepped forward beside Commander Vortin. "Admiral, our people would be honored to establish formal diplomatic relations with Earth. We have much to learn from each other." "The honor would be ours, Doctor," Admiral Stone replied. "But first, we need to make sure systems like this are protected. The Vex Dominion was just one threat among many. The galaxy is a dangerous place, and peaceful species like yours need guardians." As the human fleet took up protective positions around Zephyr Prime, word of the battle began to spread throughout the galactic community. The message was clear and unmistakable. A new power had emerged from the so-called death world of Earth, and this power would not tolerate the strong preying upon the weak. The Zephyrians had sent their distress call to what they thought was an empty world. Instead, they had awakened sleeping giants who would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. The age of Deathworlders had begun, and the universe would never be the same.